PotTalk.
What?
Pot
We need Chris to start doing this live.
about pot. PotTalk.
Get
Got
Will
Will here.
back there on the bongos.
Pot.
All right, so we're here. We got Chad, Drew, CT in the booth, and we're here with Kate from the Westword, the new marijuana editor. Although new, I mean 6 months. Still
months,
pretty
yeah.
new.
Fairly
Pretty new.
new.
Okay, right on. So what's going on? How'd you guys
Oh,
come
so
to know
excited
each
to
other?
have you. Very thankful that you came down. She actually did a article that had to do with WANA and Grow for Vets on, we had talked about, we had Roger from Grow for Vets and WANA, I think had come down here anyway, but you actually did a story in Westword. Always awesome to have some of the other folks in the media around, and excited to have you here, marijuana editor. What an
Yeah.
awesome title.
Yeah, definitely. Happy to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
I was looking at your Facebook page today about the, your page for your job, and you got quite a resume of journalism, and I'm interested to know how you got in the marijuana gig.
Almost accidentally.
Okay.
When I was I went to college in Fort Collins at CSU.
Go Rams.
And on the January 2014, I went with a reporter to cover the first legal sale of marijuana.
Okay.
I saw that
She-
footage. That was a crazy time.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
She was not allowed in the dispensary because she wasn't over 21. So I remember this is like January. It's like New Year's Day.
Yeah, like the
I am
first
in
day.
no mindset to be reporting on anything at 7 a.m.
Right.
Yeah.
But I ended up covering it, and we covered it up in at the Collegian through the last couple of years, and then I saw a job opening at Westword, and I mean, why not work at Westword?
Hell yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
I know you did some journalism on the East Coast too. We were talking about.
Yeah, after college, I went to New York without a job. And kind
As
of,
most people do, I think, right?
yeah, not
Were you trying to
scary
be
at
a
all.
singer?
No, not at all. Just, struggling journalist.
Yeah, yeah.
But I ended up landing a job at the New York Post. And then I was an editor at a startup that I think is too big to be called a startup anymore, called Odyssey.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I kind of really missed Colorado.
Yeah.
So started looking for a job back here.
Right on.
Dude, you have a title that I think a lot of potheads would absolutely love. Like, have you sent your
Yeah.
card around to all your friends and been like, check this shit out?
Snapchat was definitely used a lot when I first got my cards. I was like, guys, check it out. It's so cool. I think that a lot of people, especially in the journalism world, I was told, like, especially by older people, like, I think what a lot of people in this industry hear, which is like, this is going to ruin your life. You're never going to work again.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
Like it's
Because
porn
now
or something.
that's the
Right.
big thing on your resume is marijuana editor.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's not like that. I mean, I cover business, politics, breaking news, everything. This
Yeah.
industry is so full of innovation and different things to report on. It's just like any other news job.
I mean,
So-
January 1st, 2014, pretty epic day for many of us that have been in the industry. I know that day I walked around our dispensary right next door with a GoPro on my head. Like, this is fucking crazy what's going on. There was like lines of people and everything.
Yeah, I drove by. It was Evergreen Apothecary.
Evergreen
at that
Apothecary,
time,
yeah.
But I drove by that one, and what was Starbuds used to be City Med, I believe.
Right,
on
yep.
Evans.
Yep, right there on Evans.
We're just hungover going to get breakfast, like driving by dispensaries. Like,
Yeah.
wow, there's like
lines and
down
lines
the
of
block.
people, hundreds and hundreds. Pretty epic story. What's your favorite since then?
Ooh, since then, I really like breaking news. So all the DEA announcements have been fun / not fun.
So glad you brought that up because I totally want your take on it all.
It's kind of nuts. I think that it gets overblown a lot, that, there's only so much that the federal government can do when
Right.
it's a legal regulated industry here.
Right.
But it's still important for us to report on it and for us to let people know what's going on. So that's been a very interesting development, and it's very weird reporting on an industry that's legal but also illegal in this
Right.
kind of gray area. But I think my favorite part of reporting is just talking with people. Getting to talk with you guys about the initiative you did with veterans in November, and talking with new companies who are just getting off the ground. And I mean, this industry just has so much room for creativity and innovation, and everyone in it really has a passion and are in it for a reason. You know, you don't get involved with this industry unless you have a story.
Ready to fight that fight. Right?
Exactly. And so it's been fun for me to just talk with people and learn more about it. And I mean, I didn't know a lot about pot when I started working.
Not a lot of people do. It's okay.
Yeah, when I started this job, but it's been so fascinating to just learn more about the plant itself and all the people involved that have made this industry happen.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen going forward? Do you think there's going to be any kind of thing coming in from the federal level to punish the industry in the legal states? And if so, what do you think the response would be from the business owners?
Oh, they would have hell to pay.
Hell yeah, dude. There would be lines of states just lining up outside the doors.
Because it seems to me like it's an interesting mix, because so we're going to have a Republican administration now that is backed by a lot of religious people that are probably not pro-cannabis, but from the business side, you know, their entire, especially with Trump, their entire policy is leave people alone and let the states do what they want to do, and the businesses are supposed to have the ultimate right.
Yes.
And I'm just interested to see where this, if there's going to be a clash and where it goes over the next 4 years.
What do you think?
I think that it's important to first acknowledge that this isn't a partisan issue. It feels like it is, but I mean, there are Democrats, Libertarians, Republicans that are all very supportive of this industry.
Sure.
Whether it's,
and there are some of each of them that are against it too.
Definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that it's kind of an issue that's very nuanced, and different people have different takes on it depending on their own personal experience. So I think that just because we had a Democrat in the White House for the last 8 years, it didn't get rescheduled. Like, we still have, he didn't stop certain things from happening, but he also didn't aid in that happening.
Yeah. Right. Just kind of played its course.
I think that as scary as it is for a lot of people to see a Trump administration enter the White House for a variety of reasons, I don't think that we should be alarmist in the fact that he's a Republican and, oh my God, I'm scared.
Right.
But
I don't think so either.
I do think that there's hope in the fact that so many more states passed laws in November.
That does give us more legs for sure.
Exactly. I think that this is kind of a rolling train that if you're going to try to stop it, you're going to have a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Even the DEA announcement most recently about rescheduling CBD or not rescheduling, but clarifying the scheduling of CBD and hemp.
Marijuana.
I mean, the next day or two, a law firm in Denver came out and said, like, we will fight you.
Covey or something like that.
And so I think that if anyone tries to do anything federally, they're going to have a fight, and they better be prepared for a fight, because I know a lot of people in this industry who are going to bring it to them.
I think it's really hilarious that they decided to attack CBD. And the funny part about it is that it's nowhere close to addictive. It does nothing but good. From what the studies have shown. CBD is the one that if you want to like fight against, that's kind of like taking on Tyson like right from the get-go. Like, you could take on a couple of these like fighters that have never really fought before, but Tyson's already been, CBD is the reason for the medical. You know what I mean? It's the biggest pain inhibitor, the best for everything. Now Connecticut even had announced that they're going to start doing some trials and some studies on CBD. Which is going to be miraculous, because this is going to be some of the first actual science that's going to be going down and studying going down, recognized.
Definitely. I think that a lot of people are saying, oh, well, there are no like real studies, scientific studies on this, so you can't prove it. But like, there's been so many restrictions that of course there aren't studies. But at least from my perspective and what I've seen through reporting and just seeing, especially kids with seizures, just looking at the before and after photos of them on pharmaceutical drugs versus CBD, it's you see it in their face.
Yeah, it's a world of difference.
You see it, and I understand why there's this disdain,
Yes.
stigma.
There's so many words you can put right
yes.
there.
I was trying to, sort through them all. But I think that I didn't know as much about the medical side of it when I came in. And it's one of the things that has helped me understand so much about how the plant is really beneficial and really see all these people that it truly helps.
Yeah.
And that's also why I was upset over the DEA's annount,ment, because it's like picking on the weak kid. It's
such
like, this kid has nothing to do with you. Like, why? Why is this?
I mean, pick on THC if you want to. Post-traumatic stress disorder is way harder to prove than pain. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
But at the same time, it's like this is something that is, if not like real scientific evidence, there is more than enough anecdotal evidence to back it up.
Yeah.
And so to fight that is kind
pretty
of
hilarious to me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, going back to the Trump thing, I understand your concern and exactly how you're phrasing it within the industry is the exact way that I've heard a lot about. But there is a general concern across the nation right now, not only with what everything Trump is going to be in charge of, but this fight that we've been fighting, like in a really good way, especially here in Colorado, setting the groundbreaking ways and blueprints of how to do it right. But there's so many more things that Trump needs to be concerned with. And this fight is so enormous right now. Like, for him to pull all the resources for being the puppet that he is right now in order to make that fight actually happen, he knows. And he's a businessman.
Yeah, and
sorry.
To elaborate on that, I don't want anyone to take this as a pro-Trump remark because but I think that if you go back to the primary of the Republican candidates, like if we would have had Ted Cruz in office, he would be much more likely to go
for sure. I totally agree with that.
You know?
Yeah.
Even Hillary.
Yeah, probably Hillary too.
I mean, again, like I said, this isn't a partisan issue.
Yeah, it's not.
Totally is.
It's a business.
Exactly. And I do think that I at least hope that Trump's instincts as a businessman will see not just the benefits in the rest of the country, but I mean, Colorado in 10 months, the first 10 months of 2016, we topped $1 billion in sales.
Seriously, that's not something he's going to be able to not. Yeah.
No, that's not something you can ignore.
I think my friend that he posted up, what was his name? He's been on Tom Mitchell. Tom Mitchell, remember Tom Mitchell?
Yeah.
He wrote an article. I think he said the best thing for that is that you don't fight a fight that is beneficial or profitable for you. Like, why would you fight against yourself? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Well, like the USA Today this morning ran an article about 7 states that are increasing their tax on pump gasoline on January 1st, and Colorado is certainly not among that,
right?
Because we don't need to do that.
No,
because we have taxes going to our transportation department and our roads already.
Yeah.
Without having to tax the pump any more than it's already being taxed, and marijuana is obviously a big part of that.
Well, and marijuana also is going. Governor Hickenlooper has at least plan that he's submitted that would allow marijuana taxes to also help with the homelessness issues.
Right.
Good.
And that's another issue that Westword has covered a great deal.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
And we're
one of the things we love about the Westword is covering such things. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Chris has done amazing reporting, and I think that this is kind of one of those areas where we're starting to overlap, where if marijuana taxes start to impact that fight at all, it's going to be some interesting coverage coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally agreed. I just don't see that fight happening, right? I guess we're probably at about time. I got to throw it to break, don't I? My bad, Chris. Let's take a quick break. Thank Kate from Westword. We'll be right back with PotTalk. We appreciate you being here.
Okay, so it has been approved that we can say the fuck word.
Yeah, you just did.
Okay.
All of the United States is looking to Denver, Colorado to see what is cool. You know, it used to be maybe California back in the day or maybe New York early along, but now everybody's really looking to Denver, Colorado to figure out what is cool. And when you get accepted by Colorado as cool, well, then it just spills over to the rest of the world.
You have to see the vision for this area on South Broadway. This area 5 years from now is going to look very different than it looks right now.
Right.
I'm not supposed to film me give you my tools of the trade. Like I know
tools of the trade?
Yeah.
Separate segments?
Separate segments when you do it. always ID yourself and say,
Hey, this is Bubba Sparks, baby, and you're watching World Viral TV. You better know about it.
World Viral.
That's why it's called sexy pizza here. Ow! Sexy man. I love sexy pizza.
I love sexy pizza.
And say, mention World Viral, you get 20% off.
World Viral. Viral, you get 20% off.
Hell yeah.
The only thing is, can you deep throw a pizza?
Let's see, can you?
Nah.
She almost got it. It's too hot.
Hey, this is Jacob Cade, and you're watching World Viral TV.
You're watching Music Buzz Live on World Viral TV.
Hey, we're back here in COA. My name's Moose. We got Chad Drew CT in the booth and Kate from Westword, the marijuana editor. And just during the break, we were talking about the frame of reference that people from places like the East Coast are entering this marijuana conversation with, because I was kind of explaining, like, coming from the perspective of a Denverite that voted for legalization and has been in the city to watch this all happen,
right?
And then chatting, when I travel somewhere, or chatting with somebody that comes here that's from somewhere else, and has a completely different picture in their head of where their pot's coming from, and what it's doing, and the good and bad things that it's bringing.
It's crazy, right?
So.
Definitely. Even just talking with people in the industry who came from other states or still have family in other states, it's crazy the things that they either have to lie about or hide, or I talked to a lot of people who, or I guess I was talking to this rapper last month, I think. Scotty ATL is from Atlanta.
Right.
And he was talking about how people in Georgia have, like, can't even conceive of walking into a dispensary and buying weed.
Yeah.
It just, like, blows their mind. And I think that there's this huge divide of, people like us who live in the industry.
Totally.
People who live in Colorado who understand that it happened and didn't, I guess, have a huge
negative impact.
Yeah. Like, you can still live your daily lives. The streets aren't, a haze of pot smoke.
Yeah. For the most part.
Until Chad comes around.
Yeah, until I'm around.
The city hasn't erupted into riots.
Exactly. Yeah, it's still, the Colorado we all grew up with.
It's crazy, dude. I talk to them daily. They always get blown away standing there in the middle of a dispensary, Like, some of these guys, like, they just get stuck with what dude brings them, dude. And you have to wait in the parking lot for 2 hours, hoping a homie's going to show up. And then 4 hours later, you're like, dude. And he's like, I'm right down the street, dude,
Yeah, no. And I think that the more that people see what a grow operation looks like or what a dispensary looks like,
legitimately,
like what the business side of it actually looks like, and how it's not, some guy in a parking lot. These are business people,
mind blowing,
running running a multi-million-dollar industry.
Totally.
And I think that was a really interesting, very smart move early on, was to have spokespeople for this industry in coat and tie and really know their stuff. You mentioned Todd Mitchum earlier. He's one of them that is just very professional.
Totally.
And I think that it's helping people see that this isn't just, a bunch of potheads in your basement.
And the other thing that I love about it, I mean, we talk all the time about how it's like a culture norm here, and then going, like, I always talk about how if I go out of state, it's totally weird because I can't wear half the shirts that I have. I really can't even have bloodshot eyes. So it's such a non-culture norm, and having evolved so far within our society, it brings us together. We're actually so far past the taboo of it that we're actually evolved through socially and business ethically, everything, because it intertwines so deep within our city, and it's just common sense and second nature, as long as it's done right the way that we've done it. You know what I mean? And it brings us together and makes us all be able to work better together, I think.
And I think it's good that like Mason Vert and the what was it, Safer or Normal or whatever his organization is, like they did a lot of good things, but I think that his anti-alcohol comments would have really drawn a lot more resistance to this movement if they would have been, projected louder than they were. And I think it's good, like you said, that there have been so many other spokespeople in suit and ties that know just as much science as he does about cannabis and are more willing to meld it in with the rest of society. Like now we might have cannabis upstairs while we're serving drinks within the next couple of years.
Right.
You might not actually.
You might not, maybe not in bars, but they're going to figure that out eventually because that's going to have to be needed to figure it out anyway,
Yeah, I think that it's a line that we're walking right now where, social use was approved by Denver voters, but then it came the Colorado, who was it? It basically, they say that, we can't actually serve it with alcohol, which personally, I mean, that was a question that I had.
Yeah.
Was, for especially people who aren't used to consuming cannabis, coming to a bar, trying some, and then it doesn't hit, and so they grab a few shots and then get in their car.
Right. Yeah.
That was something I was really nervous about. So I have mixed feelings about the alcohol and
I can understand that.
Weed.
It's going to be an interesting thing that will be figured out. It's inevitable. It's going to have to be one way or another because it happens all the time, and we all know it, whether it's by the books or not. You know what I mean? In other states, it's happening all the time.
Well, I mean, I was in Amsterdam a couple of years ago, and there are several places where you can go in Amsterdam and have a beer and smoke a joint at the same time. But most of the people in those places aren't doing that. They're doing one or the other.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think it's a little different here. I've noticed just with, like we were talking about earlier, when like tourists come or people just walk into a dispensary for the first time and have no idea what they're doing. I think that it's hard sometimes for people who are inside of this world all the time to understand that side of the world as much. And I think that as regulations continue, and I mean, Denver's the first city to try social use, and like it was with recreational legislation, if we do it wrong, it's going to affect everything down the line. And so I'm glad, I guess, that they're erring on the side of caution.
I think that it's better to be cautious about it. We don't want to dance on the wrong side for too long. We need to be able to test it one way or another and be able to check it out. But we don't need to go extreme one way or another while we're just figuring it out at the beginning. Agreed.
Definitely, and I agree with you that. What did I agree with? That so far we've done really well. So far Colorado has really shown that this can be a very sustainable, very professional business. And true. I think that social use is the progression of that. But implementing social use is going to be something that we have to really make sure is done well. So that all of the progress doesn't go away. I mean, it's only been 2 years. Yeah. It's crazy that it's only been 2 years.
Well, we want to make sure that we protect our community. The communities are important. We need to educate. We need to make sure that everybody understands a lot more. And a lot of people are looking to us in order to do that. So that's why we are very thankful for having the Westword around. I know you guys do a lot for the community. Very, very cool to have you around, Kate. So, yeah.
What's coming down the pipeline? What are you working on right now?
Well, we're definitely keeping an eye on social use. Yeah. Westword is we're Denver's publication, so anything that happens with pot locally is our bread and butter.
I remember you guys used to be almost half pot, weren't you, at one point? No.
I mean, we were the first publication that accepted ads from dispensaries, from cannabis businesses. I mean, we had a cover story on medical marijuana in 2009.
Right.
So it's been Westword's had a really long relationship.
Dude, back in 2009, when I was in a medical dispensary, Westword is the only way that you could even let people know where the hell you were, really. Yeah. Like Facebook, none of that shit was good. Everybody was like, Facebook, you're crazy, dude. There was a couple of little trades, but to be able to put your own stuff in, Westword's always been there representing the cannabis companies.
Yeah, and I think that it's great that we're continuing that legacy and really focusing on our local coverage and letting people just know what's going on. And I think that Westword's always been, like I said, a company and a paper that is really supportive of the industry and has always kind of been there and been able to help with the normalization, I'd say.
Yep.
All right. Well, Kate, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us tonight. It was really nice that you came down. We'll get you down again sometime soon.
We'll definitely have to have you around, Kate. Thank you so much.
This has been PotTalk. We're going to get into some top five worst bands of the year.
And some Would You Rather.
Right after the break. Stick around. It's the Music Buzz Live.
Hello, everyone. This program was brought to you by National Speaker and Sound, Colorado's leading provider of pro audio music equipment. Right across the street from Herman's Hideaway at 1559 South Broadway.
National Speaker, where the pros shop.
World Viral.
National Speaker and Sound with a Pro Shop, Colorado's leading supplier of pro audio musical equipment with the highest quality guitars, basses, and amps on the planet. From a single cable to PA and lighting systems, DJ and recording equipment. National Speaker and Sound represents over 90 brands. EV, JBL, MCKEE, PRS, Nash, Fox, and Mesa Boogie for the serious musician. National Speaker and Sound service departments are unrivaled in the region with our certified electronics repair and speaker reconing. Our commercial division is Colorado's leading audiovisual installation contractor. Shop with the experts or visit us online at nationalspeaker.com.
Free sexy pizza, man.
Yeah, from where?
Sexy pizza.
As long as it has sex parts on it.
There's sausage.
It's all good, right?
If it don't have sex parts on it, then I don't want it.
It's for you.
It's for me?
Yeah, it's a free pizza from Sexy Pizza. They're right over here on Pearl Street.
Do we have like finger looking good, or do we have like?
I think they're just pepperonis, dear. Sausage.
Motel Minute. Motel Minute. I'm home, I love you.